Hello. So, cabbages. I've been doing a lot of research into cabbages lately, trying to find other interesting ways of cooking them. So this week, we've decided to be inspired by South Africa. So this is a South African inspired dish, and it's called braised cabbage and potatoes. And I hope you enjoy it. So before we actually get started, the first step after you've shredded your cabbage is to just steep it in boiled water. It's going to help you cut down your cooking times. You're just going to leave that there. And then we'll talk about the rest of the ingredients. So while we're chatting, that's kind of partly cooking, all right? So there's my cabbage, and that's out of the way. Other than cabbage, got 4 potatoes, 3 red chillies dried. I'm going to break those in half. We've got half a medium to large onion, I would say, in there. These should be fresh tomatoes, but I haven't got fresh. I only got canned, so we're using canned. Chopped up, that's just 2 plum tomatoes and some coriander, lovely garlic. And then for our spices, we've got cumin and mustard. So very few ingredients again, and really, really simple. Okay then, so once this is all steeping and partially cooking, we're also going to do a similar pre-cook with our potatoes. So I'm going to keep them nice and chunky, substantial size. Only got 4 here. I think that could probably go into 8. Let's move that out of the way. Just pop them in my water. This also is going to help preserve their colour until we come to cook them properly. A lovely gold colour these are. I got these from Food Share. Can you imagine? These were going to go in the tip. No. We've saved them. And they're beautiful. Beautiful looking potatoes. Look at them. Right. Okay. So once again, we're just going to leave these, this is all part of our prep, leave them to semi-cook while we're actually getting on with the real stuff. Okay. Just transfer that there. Right. First things first then, let my pan get a little bit warm, and then we're going to put our oil in first, as always. Right. Probably a little bit more than that actually. 2 tablespoons it should have been. So that would do. Nice. It's all part of our flavour. So I'm just going to get that so it's shimmering. And then we're going to add our onions, just saute those a little. An onion in. And we are going to cook this now until it's nice and translucent, a little bit golden, usual. Getting all that sweetness out. Really enhancing the onion. Okay, so our onions are lovely, and you can see they're getting golden now. A little bit of colour on the edges. Smell like the fair. I'm going to add my garlic now. And I've just minced that up. You can grate it if you want. Puree it, whatever you want, however you do it. It's not important really for this dish. Right. So we're just going to cook that now until the raw smell goes and becomes nice and sweet and aromatic. And then we're going to add our spices. So while that's bubbling away, half a teaspoon of Jerra or cumin, 1 teaspoon of mustard. Oops. So I'm going in twice, boys. Going in twice. And we want to just cook those until they start crackling, because that also helps to release their flavour as well. Now, if you don't like your food too hot, put less chilli in or de-seed them. That's another way. Let's take the end off of that. We even just use a little bit of chilli powder, I guess. I like a bit of spice. There we go, that'll do. Get that back up again. There we go. Be careful when you're inhaling, when you're frying chilies, because sometimes you can inhale the heat. You've done that before. So don't inhale like you usually would. So now our spices are nice and aromatic. You can smell them. We're going to add our tomatoes. Like I say, the recipe calls for fresh, but I can't see why we couldn't use plum. And that's all I've got, so that's what I'm using. The only thing that you might need to do is cook it out a bit more, because obviously this will have more juice in it than fresh tomatoes would. So we're just going to cook these now until they're like all broken down. Obviously that process would take longer if we were using fresh, so this will probably be quite quick for us with the plum ones. Yummy. Right then, meanwhile, in another universe, I've had my cabbage draining, so we're now going to add the cabbage. And again, because this has been steeping in boiled water, it shouldn't take that long to cook. So I'm going to sprinkle that all in, get it all stirred in as we go. So I've been thinking about this dish, and I thought it'd make a great main, especially with rice or like some roti bread. But it'd also make a lovely side dish. I can't see any reason why you couldn't have this alongside. If you were like having a roast or having some kind of meat, you could have this alongside it, I would have thought. Maybe you can message us and let us know what you do with yours. Right, so cabbage in, and my potatoes, I've also drained those after they've been sitting in water as well, so you can see they've still got a bit of bite in them. Just started them off really. Try and get some of that lovely spicy tomato mixture all over them. And now I'm just going to leave that cook for a little while, get all the flavours into each other. If you need to add a little bit of water while you're letting this sweat down and cook, a little dribble at a time. And then We're going to leave it about 10 minutes. We'll come back and we'll test the seasoning. Well, let's have a look and see what's happened in the last 20 minutes. So as you can see, potatoes now are nicely cooked through. Smells delicious. I would like to cook this again though with the fresh tomatoes, because I think the one thing about using plum tomatoes, from what I can see, is that it's coloured it a bit, so it's made it red. That's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying, like, you know, if you wanted to keep it so all the colours are distinct, maybe fresh tomatoes is the way forward for that. So I'm just going to taste it and see, just check the seasoning. Lovely. Okay. So like I said, there's no reason why you can't have this as a main or as a side. Certain aspects of it remind me of Bombay potatoes actually, but then of course it's got the added thing of the cabbage. And I guess this is really a variation on a theme. You could add all sorts to this, could really experiment and go to town. All right, just put a bit of salt in there and then we'll dish it up. But yeah, have a go. Let me know what you think. And maybe for our South African friends, maybe you can tell us what if this is, I mean, it said it was inspired like South African, so maybe you can tell us if this is something that you have eaten and what you had with it, what you put with it. Anyway, stick some on a plate, and of course we want to garnish it with our coriander. I'll just bring out something else again. I'm just going to put a bit in a bowl there. Does look lovely. Smells really nice as well. A bit of our chopped coriander. Let's taste it with all its seasoning then. Yummy. Yeah, it's really good. Really good. Have a go, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.